Da, se vede.
Ok, mulțumesc pentru prezentare. O să schimb acum la limba engleză, pentru că prezentarea mea va fi în limba engleză, la fel ca și restul webinarilor.
Vă rog, mulțumim.
So, welcome to Digital Entrepreneurship webinar today. My name is Constantin. I'm so happy to be here today and talk to all of you about digital entrepreneurship. I'll start with a little information about myself. I started my career as the single IT person in small companies. And then in time, I have become a technical expert, and I had my time as an IT manager in international companies. Also, I had a journey as an entrepreneur for a little over 10 years. I've been providing consulting services on desktops, on networking solutions, web hosting services, and also IT security was a very special area of interest for me. During my professional life as employee, I had different roles, such as system administrator. Then I moved to team lead, IT manager, and IT architect. And I had contact with a lot of IT areas. I worked with servers, with virtualization techniques, with networking, storage, mobile device management. I've touched public clouds for a while. And I also worked on project management and programming and scripting, and I don't even remember everything in the last 25 years. As an entrepreneur, that's a different story, because when you are an entrepreneur, you're not just a developer. You need to wear a lot of hats. So you need to be let's say, to have multiple personalities at the same time. So in my experience, when I was entrepreneur, I was CEO, I was head of sales, I was a technology officer, dealing with project management, legal stuff, and laws are changing a lot in Romania. Also, I was junior accounting. So it's not a very simple position to be an entrepreneur. Also, I like to be part of the community. Today, I'm a leader of VMware User Group Romania. It's a community exactly like the hackathon community where we are today. People are sharing knowledge and experience, and everybody is learning something. So I'm happy to be here today and share with all of you some concepts about how to be a successful entrepreneur. So let's see, in the next, let's say 40 minutes, 1 hour or so, I walked through some of the concepts which, in my opinion, are very important for digital entrepreneurs. I'll talk about personal branding, I'll talk about leadership, customer validation, financial management, but I will also touch on some topics who all the participants in the hackathon competition will need to master to fill in the details for the business plan, which, as Maria said before, will be a deliverable for the project. So I will start with a little introduction about digital market and about digital entrepreneurship, because this is why we are here. So digital entrepreneurship is, in my opinion, about the use of digital technologies to create, to innovate, and to grow new businesses, which will activate in the digital market. And in the last decade or so, with the rise of social media, mobile devices, digital entrepreneurship has become a popular way, an accessible way for people to start their own businesses, and at the same time to follow their passions. One of the advantage for entering into this digital world is that there is a low barrier to entry. And if you have the right skills and if you have the right tools, anyone can start a business online, and it doesn't matter where you're located. And individuals who before may have been excluded from a traditional business opportunity due to positioning, like they were not in the right country or they were missing the proper funding. These people, they can start now their own businesses, and they can go above national countries and go into at least a regional audience. Another advantage of digital entrepreneurship is rapid innovation and rapid experimentation. And you have the ability to quickly test and move between ideas. And entrepreneurs can bring new products and services to the market faster and compared with a traditional way of delivering products. And that means that a digital entrepreneur can stay ahead of the competition and can find the changes in the market quickly, and they can adapt to the needs that the customers will have, and the needs that they have today will be different than the needs that they will have in half a year. Also, there's a little about flexibility. That's a little about autonomy. And you can today in digital world, you can work from anywhere. You can manage your own schedule, and you can enjoy your passion on your own terms. But there is a but. There is always a but. You do not need to confuse this flexibility of your schedule with the amount of the work that you are going to provide. In many cases, entrepreneurs will work many more hours per week than a regular employee. So choose carefully. It may seem strange at first, but personal branding, so the branding of you as individual, is essential for entrepreneurs, and it helps you as an individual to establish your unique identity and stand out in a crowded market. And you can ask, what's the correlation between personal brand and the brand of, let's say, the startup that you are going to create? And there is a correlation because when you go in a small entrepreneurship adventure, as most of the startups, they really start small with one founder and or maybe 2 or 3 or 4 founders, like the maximum that you have today in a team for hackathon. When you start, the image of the startup is the image of the founder, or the sum of the images of the founders. And when the startup becomes a successful business, then these images may separate, but initially they are one and the same. So having a personal branding can help your business, actually. So start by defining your personal brand, include values, include what you believe in, what is your mission, what is the best of you, what is your vision, and develop a strategy for building this brand. And you need to include some goals. And we will talk later about how to define a goal and how to use what strategy to use when you define your goals. You also need to include which is your target audience and what is your message. And also you need to decide where do you want to share your message, which platforms do you want to go to build your brand. If you choose multiple platforms, and I suggest to do that, then you have to maintain a consistent image. So don't go one way on a social platform and a different way on a different platform. The last point I have here is you need to build relationships with other people from the industry where you're on, so the digital industry in this case. And you can do that through networking, to collaboration, to different partnerships that you may have with others. And if you take one single idea from this site, please make it the last one. So you need to grow your network. You need to talk with a lot of people. Let's think for a moment. So what is leadership? Because different people can think at different definitions for leadership. But for me, the leadership is the ability to inspire, the ability to motivate, and the ability to guide other people towards a common vision. And it's a critical skill for success in digital market today. So you need to be able to lead your team towards success. And leadership is somehow related to the last point on the previous slide. Leadership is about building relationships, is about building trust and respect, but this time with those that you lead, not with the peers from the industry, but with those that you lead. And good leaders can communicate effectively with the team members, and they create a shared sense of direction. Everybody in the team is going into the same direction, having the same goals. Also important for a good leader is the ability to listen. You need to listen to the concerns, to the ideas, to the feedback, suggestions that are coming from your team members. And listening to all these things will help you make better decisions, and also will help you build stronger relationships with your team. You need to create a safe environment where the team members should be comfortable sharing what they think and what ideas they have without any fear of judgment or other negative consequences. You also need to lead by example. So you need to have a positive behavior. You can smile. I can decide when I do this presentation to smile, or I can decide to be, not very positive. But usually, being positive will inspire the team members, will inspire your audience to do the same. So, setting a good example for your team will also help to build trust and respect. So everything goes back to building trust between your team members. One last aspect is a leader needs to be able to provide direction and also make tough decisions. So a leader doesn't need to know everything. This is why a leader needs to listen to the team, but in the end, some decisions will need to be made. And to do these decisions, you will need to understand the goals. You'll need to understand the objectives of the organization you're part of. And also you need to be able to analyze data and make the decision the best that you can do with the information that you have at the time. And you need to remember that in some cases, it's easy to just delay a decision, but taking no decision now in this moment is still a decision. Could be good, could be bad, but it's still a decision. For example, in this moment, I can decide to move on to the next slide, or I can decide to stay on this slide. Or I can just delay my decision and saying I will decide if I go to the next slide or not in the next 3 minutes. But if I do that, I just took a decision to stay on this slide for 3 more minutes. So no decision, most of the time, it is a decision. I took the decision and I moved to the next slide. This slide is about accepting failure. And this is a concept which used to be a difficult one, at least in Romania, and I believe also in most of the East European countries. Let's imagine for a moment that your product or your business failed. This means that you as a person or you as a team failed. But this is wrong. So this is very, very wrong. This is not true. So let me say again, this is wrong. So if your product or your business failed, this doesn't mean that you failed. On the contrary, I can say on the contrary. What fail fast means is that you should test your ideas, you should test your concepts quickly, and if they are not working, move to the next one. And this is what's usually happening in the entrepreneurship area. You must treat any failure like an opportunity. When you fail, it's absolutely not the end of the road. It's the start of another road. It's an opportunity to learn what didn't work, learn why didn't work, and then move to a new approach. And instead of spending a lot of years perfecting an idea before launching, so you can work on your product for 2 years and make it the perfect product. And then after 2 years of work and a lot of time, money, resources put into that idea, you launch, and you have no customers because everybody is hating your product, or the market moved ahead and what was relevant 2 years ago is no longer relevant today. So a better idea is to start small. It's to test your concept with a selection of beta customers, of friendly customers, and you can learn from their feedback, make improvements before investing 2 years into a product. And if you invest so much resources into an idea that in the end will prove to be a fail, the more time and the resources you put into your idea, the harder it will be to let go by you, by your investor, by your team, because everybody invested a lot of time and effort into what proved to be a lost cause. So instead of doing that, try to fail fast, not fail after 2 years. And the last point here is about embracing risks, because what we want to do, we want to have some innovation in our product. We want to have, innovative ideas, but innovation involves taking risks, and most of the time, these risks don't pay off. So it's very complicated to go to a way where nobody went before, but if you don't do that on the other side, you will never find that spark, that idea that could change the game for everybody. And generally speaking, there is no entrepreneurship without some risks. So you need to be somehow comfortable with taking risks, being as an entrepreneur. If you're 100% risk averse, then maybe it's not a good path for you. And we moved to the product. As Maria said before, as a deliverable for this hackathon, you will need to fill in a business plan. And one of the fields from this business plan, it's about the product. And think about some questions like, what is your product? What does it do? What problem is your product solving? And questions like this, very simple questions, if you can't answer to these questions in 1 minute, if you can't answer without thinking, then you need to go back and think more about your product. So you need to know your product, your app, inside and out. You need to know everything about your product. You will need this to communicate about your product. You will need this to make decisions about the product. You will need this to achieve customer satisfaction. And you need to understand its features, and you need to know which are the strengths. You need to know which are the weaknesses of your product. You also need to know your competition. What similar products are in the market? How can you stand out from them? How is your product better? Do you have maybe better design? Maybe do you have innovative features not available in other products? Maybe you have better code quality. Maybe the app is more stable. Maybe do you have special customization? Maybe, I don't know, you have better customer care, or maybe your product is cheaper. But keep in mind, still needs to be profitable. So only cheap is not going to is not possible to be the only difference. That's a war which nobody can win. You also need to think if you can scale your product. So let's say you want to build an app which supports some persons playing a game of chess. And let's say that one version of this app, it will support two players being online and playing a game of chess, and that's all. This is clearly easier to build, easier to support, and with a small infrastructure you need. And the other type of app is, let's say you build the same app to play a game of chess, but in this app you can support up to 1,000 players at the same time, and they are playing 500 games of chess, same game, but they are playing 500 games at the same time. You will need to design your app in a different way if you want to support two players, if you want to support 1,000, 10,000, doesn't matter the number, but you will need to think your application on how you can scale it up. And thinking of these two products, just think which product do you think has the higher chances of being the most profitable? My guess is that the scaled up product will have much higher chances of making a profit compared with the one which sold only to the two persons. In the end, you need to be, proud and excited about your product. So if you don't trust in your product, if you don't trust that you can scale the product, if you don't trust that it can be profitable, then again, you need to go back, think more about your product. You need to be excited. You need to trust it. And when you're excited, it will resonate with your team. It will resonate with your customers. It will resonate with everybody involved in the project. And being excited, this drives creativity, innovation, the willingness to go to the extra mile to deliver exceptional results. Because if you're not excited, and the opposite of excited could be you're bored about your product. This is not good attitude. And you need to be truly, truly excited, and don't try to fake it, because your team will feel it, your customers will feel it, and in our case, the jury of the hackathon will feel it. So make a product which you are really proud and excited about. If we go back to the business plan that you need to complete, you will need to define your target group for your product. And for this, you can take into consideration different demographics for your customers. You can think about their age, about gender, about the income that they have, what education usually they have, are they married, are they single, where do they live, things like that. You also need to find which are their needs, which are their pain points, and take this into consideration and make changes into your product that will resolve the needs. Make sure that you need to resolve some of the needs, some of the pain points that the customers have. They must have a reason to buy your product. And usually this is because your product is fixing something for them. This way, you will also build, there will be a connection between your product or your startup and the customers, because they will feel that somebody is listening to their issues. You also need to be aware of the surroundings. You need to know what similar products are in the market. Are they targeting the same group of customers? Which are their strengths, their weaknesses? And just imagine that you are talking with a customer about your product, and then the customer names a competitor. And then again, you'll have 1 minute. Can you explain to him why is your product better? Why does he or she better buy your product instead of the competitors? That's a good question. In the end, you also need to understand how your typical customers take decisions to buy a product similar with yours. They may be impulsive. They may react to an interesting and awesome advertising that they see once on the street or on a website, but they can also need to see the product mentioned 10 times in major websites, in magazines. Do they buy new products just launched, or do they wait for the product to be adopted by everybody? Do they discuss their decision with their family, with their friends, or they decide themselves? Do they go on a website and pay with a credit card? Or do they want to go to an app store and use the credit card stored in an app store? Or maybe they need to talk to somebody, to an individual, and then they require a contract to be signed and they want to pay by bank transfer in 30 days. Everything is possible these days, but you need to understand how usually your customers decide to buy things, and you will see there is a major distinction between if your customer is an individual or if your customer is a company. The way they buy products is going to be extremely different. All these details will help you to describe your target group of customers. But let's say you put all these details on your plan, and how we can be confident that what you presumed is true. And I'll show you one way of this. You can try to do a process called customer validation, and that means going with your assumption, with your guesses, and going with those in front of potential customers and try and find their opinion. And so in this way, test and validate your business before investing time and resources. So it's kind of similar with fail fast. You did some assumptions about your customers. Go out and validate them. So you're starting with your guess, and you define these ideas, and you make some assumptions like, I don't know, my target group is people 20 to 35 years living in Bucharest. Good or bad, I don't know, it's an assumption. And then you need to, this is a starting point for your validation. Try to reach out to your potential customers. I don't know, use social media, your online forums, go to a faculty lobby. Try to identify potential customers who fit your target, and then reach out to them and ask for their feedback. Tell them about your ideas, see what they think. So you can also use surveys, and you can use one-to-one interviews, get feedback from them, and generally speaking, ask open-ended questions. Do not ask questions which can be answered by yes or no, because you need to make them talk and explain to you what they mean. So don't ask, is this slide good or bad? Maybe instead ask them what they think about this slide. So don't suggest anything. Don't suggest an answer which can be yes or no. Another idea is to create what is called a minimal viable product, acronym MVP. You can build a simple version of your product, which resolves one simple issue. So don't go overboard. make the minimum investment, create the minimum product, and then go with it to early adopters, go find some friendly customers, beta customers, and use their feedback to see what they think about your idea, and then improve what you're offering. I said earlier that I'm going to give an example on how to define your objectives, your goals. And SMART is a framework for setting goals. And this is an acronym which comes from specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And let's talk about each of them. Specificity in a SMART objective that ensures clarity and focus. And that means we need to clearly define what we need to achieve. It eliminates ambiguity. It provides a roadmap, a guiding effort to a precise outcome. Measurability, the next one, allows us to track progress and to make an objective evaluation of where we are in achieving our objectives. We need to establish metrics and benchmarks clearly, and this will enable everybody from the team to assess their performance and for everybody to determine where we are in achieving our objectives. So becoming best in the market, that's not measurable, but achieving 10,000 euros sales, that's something measurable. So make your objectives measurable. Achievable, that's important because you need to make sure that the goals that you set are reachable and are realistic. And this is thinking at what your available resources and constraints are. And you need to set objectives that challenge you, but at the same time, you need to be able to accomplish those objects. And this will inspire confidence, this will inspire motivation for the team, and you will be able to move on. So going back to the number of sales that you need to do, if your objective as a startup is to sell 1 billion euros in 1 year, probably not achievable. So set something smaller, set something which will be a challenge. So again, 10 euros sales, that's not challenging. So put something in between, which can be challengeable, a challenge, but it can be realistic. Relevance, that's about ensuring alignment with the goals and priorities of your startup, organization, product, whatever. And says the importance of setting objectives that are directly contributing to the mission, to the vision of the organization of your mobile app. And that means that you need to, so there's always going to be, when you build an app, there's always going to be that small change that you can do and change the color of your logo from deep red to light red. But that's a very small detail, and that's not going to drive sales, most likely. So you need to you need to have objectives relevant and which are contribute to your plan. Time-bound objectives, they ensure a sense of urgency. They set clear deadlines or which are the time frames for your achievement. For example, for this hackathon, you need to, there is a date to which you need to provide the deliverables. So it's time bound. That objective is time bound day. Why you need to be time bound? Because you need to, the team needs to prioritize the tasks. And if you don't have times set apart for the objectives, then making the achieving the task in the correct order will be very difficult. So whenever you're thinking at setting an objective, a goal, for every project that you're involved on, even on personal side, keep this acronym in mind. SMART, that means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Now that's the topic. That's an interesting topic: monetization. Usually, when I'm discussing with peers, with my peers from the industry, and usually they have a technical background, and they tend to be so excited about all sorts of technical aspects, which programming language they'll use, and where they will keep the source code. It will be GitHub or I don't know, some other place. Who will be the developer? What infrastructure they will need? It will be self-hosted. It will be on Azure or the AWS. And how the UI will look like. All these technical details which are important for an app, but it's not the only thing that's important for an app. And when I go and ask them how will they make money, the usual answer is it's not important now. We'll figure it out later. And what if they want? What if they invest a lot of time, resources, effort into making a product, and then they will not figure out how to make money off it? And I talked earlier about sunken costs. This is how usually they appear. And the best moment to think about how will you make money from your product is when building your business plan. And we'll look now for a few of usual techniques for mobile apps on how to make money. One simple idea is to pay per download. Users pay a one-time fee to download an app from an app store, Google, Apple, Microsoft, whatever your distribution channel is. That's a straightforward revenue stream. Also, for users, it allows them to access the full functionality of the app without additional purchases. That's a very simple and transparent pricing model. Another model is about subscriptions. That's a recurring revenue strategy. Users pay a periodic fee, typically is monthly or could be annually. In this case, usually they receive a discount, and they pay this fee to access usually premium features or content for the app. That's a continuous revenue stream for developers. That's also some benefits from the users because they will have ongoing access to valuable services. So they make sure that the app is going to be upgraded and is going to come with new features because they pay money for that. And the advantage of this model is that it could lead to very long-term customer relationships. Personal example, I do play a mobile game. It's called Dominations, and I think I'm a customer for more than 6-7 years. Really long-term customer relationships. In-app advertising, That's about displaying ads within a mobile app. That's a revenue opportunity for developers, and also the customer will pay with its time instead of paying with its money. In-app purchases, on the other side, enables users to buy additional content, features. This time they will pay with their money. Usually enhancing user experience. And for the developers, that's of course going to be a new stream of revenue. Freemium is a different monetization model. Here, the apps offer usually a basic version for free. If users choose to use the basic version, that's fine. But usually, the developers, they want to offer some premium version, advanced features, and interesting content where the users can access it only after paying a fee. What's interesting about this is that the customers, they can experience the app, and they can see how the app looks like and what it's offering before committing to a purchase. So usually a number of people downloading freemium apps is way bigger than the ones paying one-time pay-per download, for example. There exist other monetization models, but most likely out of scope. You can go through sponsorship, partnership, affiliate marketing, but that's usually later in the time of your app. Financial management, and we also need to talk about this, is a crucial aspect when you're running a business. And as a digital young entrepreneur, you need to understand how to manage your finances so that you can have long-term sustainability. And few concepts about this. It's essential to create and stick to a budget that reflects your incomes and your expenses. And you need to include in your budget all your expenses, marketing costs, rent, utilities, salaries, taxes, everything. And by sticking to a budget, you can avoid overspending, and you can ensure that you have enough money to cover your expenses. A different topic is about cash flow management, and this is about understanding the movement of money in and out of your business. Being profitable is not the same as being cash flow positive. You can be profitable, and you can have very big issues if you don't have enough money to pay the invoices for your utilities. So you need to manage your cash flow carefully. You need to be sure you don't run out of money. Accounting, tax management, these are also critical aspects of financial management. It's important to understand your tax obligations. These are not simple at all. It's important to comply with all the laws and regulations. And accounting is one of those usually boring things which can come later with very big costs. So be careful on accounting. Financial reporting, that's a little different than accounting. It's important to understand your financial health, and you need to at least be familiar with reviewing some financial statements, some things like balance sheets, cash flow statement. You need to understand your revenue, where is your revenue coming from, which are your expenses, and how is your cash flow. This is also a topic which usually is delayed by technical people, and it's about selling your product. There is a usually phrase which is coming a lot into the context of entrepreneurship, and the phrase is "build it and they will come." And that's the idea that if you create the best product of existing on the earth, and the customers will just flow to use your product. And sometimes it's true, but in reality, most of the cases, that's not true. You can have the best product on the market. If nobody knows about it, then you have no profit. And instead of this phrase, build it and they will come, I would say sell it or they won't come. So I cannot guarantee that if you try to sell your product, the customers will come. But if you don't sell it, most likely the customers will not come to you. So you need to actively sell, you need to actively market your product to attract customers. And that means that from the beginning, when you do your business plan, you need to think about how will you market and how are you going to build your customer base. And you can start with market research. You already know that you need to understand your target customers. You need to find what they are looking for in a product or service. And you can use this information to change your product and also change your marketing strategy. You can develop a brand. Your brand is what sets you apart from your competitors. And usually the brand creates a connection with your customers. And you need to invest time. Strong brand identity, strong brand message, they are usually not coming easily. So you need to put in your plan that you're going to invest time in that, time and resources. You need to build a strong online presence. Today, having a strong online presence, I'm gonna say is crucial. Is if you don't have an online presence, then that's not digital. You're not on the digital market. You need to have a well-designed website, which needs to be mobile friendly, which needs to be tablet friendly today. You need to have active social media accounts and a very good search engine optimization strategy. I'll talk a little more about that in the next slide. That's your marketing strategy needs to be a living document. So you don't write it and then you put it on a frame and you just look at it. The market will evolve, your product will evolve. You need to incorporate all these evolutions based on the feedback, based on the results. You need to incorporate everything. Digital marketing. That's how you're going to use the digital channels, how you're going to use the technology to promote your product, your service, your mobile app. And usually there are a few key components here. Usually you already have your website. Usually that's the first point of contact between your brand and potential customers. As I said, well designed, easy to navigate, optimized for search engines. And search engine optimization, that's the process of optimizing the content of your website to rank higher in search engine results page. And when let's take an example, you search something on Google or Bing or whatever your favorite search engine is, and think how often do you go to the second page? The answer probably is a few times. And think about how often you go to the 10th page, 11th page, 12th page, and probably never. So usually there are hundreds of thousands of websites which are competing for the same key phrase. And search engine optimization can help you achieve a better positioning, which will drive more traffic from the search engines to your website. You need to use social media, platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, TikTok, depending what your product is. These are very powerful tools for building your brand awareness and talking with the customers. Pay-per-click advertising involves paying for ads that usually appear top of search engine results or magazines or news sites or also social media platforms. That's an effective way of driving traffic to your website. That's also an effective way of spending money. So be careful on how much money you spend on pay-per-click advertising and try to find out exactly how many customers you bring to your website and how many sales you do for the money you spend. I reach out to the last slide of my today presentation. And that's a complex topic, digital entrepreneurship. It's a field that is rapidly evolving, and a digital entrepreneur must be fluent in so many areas to succeed in this world. And if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to have a successful team. You need to inspire innovation. You need to be an effective leader. And you need to talk with your customers. You cannot build your product in a bubble. You need to validate your assumptions about the customers, and you need to sell your product. Failing fast is essential. Iterate quickly, learn from mistakes, and go on. So fail is okay. This is an important concept. Risk is coming with entrepreneurship. There is no startup without some sort of risk involved. And in conclusion, you must embrace all those non-technical concepts. So all of the things I talked today are about non-technical concepts. In the other seminars, you will find more about technical stuff. But being a digital entrepreneur is not only about being a technical person. You must embrace all these non-technical concepts and many other concepts, I'm sure. But you need to be way more than a developer to consider yourself a digital entrepreneur. Thank you for your time and Q&A.